the first challenge that a lot of organization leaders who are in the engineering org or IT org are facing. One, they are unable to launch new products, variants very quickly. They're not able to predict when I'll be done with my software development, where I can go live and all of that is one of the biggest challenge for the leaders, right? Second is that IT has become a internal part of every organization, and it has become it started like, okay, there are few people here and there doing some laptop and all that. Now the whole business is driven on the software, right? Even we go from automobile to even oil and gas companies are heavily dependent on softwares, correct? And their major cost center is engineering org or IT org, right? Now, when they have to operate at that scale and manage the cost, it's very challenging. As a developer, will not be able to understand what happens when you have like 5,000, 10,000 engineers working for your organization, right? And that's another challenge. The third one, the IT landscape. Every day there is a new framework, new thing. If you are out of some time, then there are 10 new things have come, right? And it's very difficult to manage. I think most of you have multiple implementations of data platform, multiple implementations of observability stack and all of that, right? Now this becomes really difficult to manage as well. Now, these are the challenges that leaders are facing. Fine, good. But as a developer, are we also facing some challenges? Yes, we do, right? So we are facing many frictions, delivery frictions. I need some tools, techniques, technology to be there for me to implement and do my job, right? Oh, this is not approved. You can't use this. Oh, these tools are not available for everyone. Only few people can have. All that is a problem. Getting access is another challenge as well. Like, have to do and fix some production issue, but I'm not the one who can see the logs. I'm not the one who can see the traces, right? And that's another challenge. Third is that the landscape is becoming huge. I should know Kubernetes. I should also know my software development. I should also know the Kibana and the Elasticsearch and everything. And it's like overload for me, right? All of this are the challenges that are faced by developers. There are challenges faced by the leaders, right? So we have to solve our own problem. We can't rely on others, correct? And we tell many organizations that how to solve business problems, what to do and all, right? Same thing we have to apply for ourselves as well. So what are the objectives? Very simple, two objectives. As a leader, I want to be able to launch product fast in the market with good quality software, right? Release with confidence. Should not hear back that I released and it bombed in the production. And as a developer, we need highly motivated engineering teams who are working effectively, right? These are the objectives. And what we have to apply, what we have been telling others to do to ourselves, right? Say, for solving business problems, do business intelligence, right? Do business analytics so that we can have a data-driven approach to solving the business problems. Can we apply same philosophy for us? Can we do the engineering intelligence like business intelligence and apply the same principles to our world? And if we are not going to solve our own problem, somebody else will do that for sure, right? So better take the charge of solving our own problem by whatever we have been preaching to others. And that's the idea of this talk. There's nothing new, just rephrasing the business intelligence to our own world of engineering, right? Because The IT has become the major cost center for every organization. If we are not effective, then it's going to be problem, right? For everyone, for us maximum. So we need to start thinking about engineering intelligence platform that enables engineering teams. Remember, engineering teams, which includes leaders as well as developers, with the data-driven intelligence leading to improved productivity, operational efficiency, software delivery, and better decisioning with data. Now we have applied this already for others. We have to apply for ourselves. What are the good engineering metrics, right? I look at it from 4 lenses. The first one is related to delivery. I think many of you know about DORA. 4 key metrics. They are the standard golden metrics is available. There is a research backed by research, correct? And 4 key metrics are the good for the delivery side of, correct? These are change lead time, deployment frequency, mean time to recovery, change fail rate, right? These are all help you to understand how we are doing with the software delivery. But remember, they are lagging indicators. They are lagging indicator, leading indicator, right? Lagging indicator means you get to know after the fact. This has happened, right? Second lens is the quality. Now, go back. What we want to achieve is that faster time to market, but release with confidence, right? It should not happen that the software is buggy and people just run away from that, right? So, quality. So, you need to have a good quality metrics as well, right? Code complexity, build failure rate, right? How many times your builds are read, right? Tech debts, test coverage, security and compliance related warnings and issues, right? We need to start monitoring those. The third one, we want to have happy engineers, right? And we have to make our own life easy. We say user experience. Similar to that, we have to start thinking about developer experience. In the morning, in the keynote, Vanya and Barney talked about DevX, developer experience, right? For user, we are solving their experience problem, right? For developer, we have to solve our own experience problem, right? So start investing into that. We need to start looking at some metrics like onboarding time. This is one of the challenges that every organizations are facing. Code review cycle time, build time, how much time it takes to run, build, test, deploy. It's taking forever, right? And happiness index, surveys and all of that. In the morning, there is a research done by industry leaders and the framework is called SPACE framework. Talk about different aspects. I'll not, for the time's sake, I'll just move on. Then the last one, which is the operational metrics. Now this is also important, right? In the morning, Barney talked about cost of observability, cloud cost, right? We need to start thinking. Otherwise, someone from finance will come and say, dude, what you guys are doing? My bill is skyrocketing every day. We have to be in control. Otherwise, you'll say, no, go back to the on-premise. I don't like this. The cloud is elastic. You are enjoying it, but my pockets are getting empty. And they'll move you back just because we were not careful. Just because we did not pay attention to the spend that we were making, right? Sometimes it's good to have that, right? So if we need to have that flexibility, we need to be measuring our own spends also, right? Meeting our SLAs, right, is important. On every environment, production, everybody is going to monitor, but we need to have SLAs for our test environment and all that, right? If you are having a product API, the API which is available for others to consume, you will have a test environment as well for that. We need to have SLAs for that as well. So these are the 4 lenses. You can have more also. But these are the broad categories and some samples that worked for us. Looking at this metrics, you will look at two types of metrics, right? Lagging indicator, leading indicators. Some of the metrics that I have talked about are lagging indicators, some of them are leading. At the end of the day, you will look at the delivery 4 key data metrics as your one outcome. But to achieve that, you might have to look at the improvement in the leading indicators, which will result at the end into the lagging indicator, right? So if you improve your build time, quality coverage and all of that, automatically you will be able to release faster. Your deployment frequency is going to increase. So you will improve on that metrics, right? So that way you monitor the lagging matrices you want to change by identifying which of the leading indicator will help you to improve those, and you will see that change happening, right? So be careful that there is a lot of dependency between these matrices. Can't happen that okay, let's deploy fast or let's deploy 100 times, what happens? But to do that, you need to improve on the other indicators as well. So there are interdependencies also that you need to be watchful about, right? Start monitoring, start measuring and all. But focus more on the outcome based metrics rather than output based metrics. Can anybody help me with one example of output based metrics? Any idea? Velocity, line of code, these are outputs, right? Don't focus too much on that. Focus on outcomes. Am I able to release the software more frequently? Is the outcome, right? How many times my build is failing is the outcome, right? So focus more on the outcomes and not, that is the important part. Both the matrices will help in some way, but be careful about that. So watch out for that. Measure and collect matrices at team levels, not at the individual level. Be careful about that, because otherwise it will not give you the good picture of the team, how you are delivering and all that, right? Because when you are playing a game of soccer also, when you score a goal, it's a team effort that takes you there, right? And if defenders are not good, you will score 2 goals, but the others will score 4 scores and you will lose, right? So both is important. And that's why I think more team. Choose the metrics that are more team level. Even whenever we talk about velocity, which is the output base, we talk about team velocity. We don't talk about individual velocity, right? So that way, think more in that terms. So these are some guidelines that will help you, because there are plenty of metrics that you can start monitoring, right? So, okay, we know why we want to do this. We know what we have to do. Now the next big question, how? Haven't we solved this problem? Yes, we have, right? We have already solved this problem for others. Now let's solve for ourselves. Simple, 3 stages that we do: collect data, ad hoc, periodic, real time, continuous. Data will be available. Second, analyze, identify patterns, identify trends, but consider risk and biases also in that, right? Outliers, right? That's what we do in the data analytics most of the time. And then it will help you to generate actionable insights, optimize where we have to look at. It will help you to identify even the waste in the overall engineering development cycles that we have, right? And it will help you to predict as well. Let's look at some examples. And let's look at first how we collect the data. In ad hoc way, many of you must be doing some surveys, right? Developer surveys, many types of surveys we do. Retrospective, how many of you are doing retrospective? Start collecting those data. Don't forget that it's there, done. Bhul mat jao. Start taking some data from there. Start taking data from to collect the ad hoc and periodic way, right? Continuous, we have a lot of systems. Git repositories is a very good source of data. Jira, our CI/CD pipelines, ServiceNow tickets that we are raising, all of that are good source of data for us, which can give us the continuous source of data for our own engineering intelligence purpose and building our own engineering intelligence platform. Moving on, let's look at Git. There are many ways we can use the data. You must be using that in an ad hoc way today also. Can we find out some patterns in that? There is one very interesting pattern that came out on one of the project. People are working Saturdays and Sundays, visible on the Git commits, right? You don't have to go, oh no, we worked on that Saturday, but not this Saturday and all that, right? Now, this is data-driven visibility, data-driven approach to the management that, see, this is what has happened. We have to work on Saturdays and this is visible, right? Same way, you can also look at the pull request cycle time. If you are following pair programming, perfectly good, fine. A lot of organizations follow PR-based approach of review and all that. Time, right? There are many, so two types of pattern I talk about. One is best practices related pattern you can identify. Second, you can identify patterns which can lead to the waste. So if there are some branches created and then left over, वो developer चला गया, उसके साथ वो branch भी रह गया. Right? So that happens with us, right? Developer left and the branch is there. Nobody knows what he did. I don't care. I'll write again and all that happens, right? You can start analyzing all of that, right? So there are many use cases you can think of, and there are tools available who have already cracked all this problem for us. Then we have tools like Jira, Git, and CI/CD. Can we combine them together to know the lead time, right? For developing some features, small, medium, large features, how long it takes to build. Right now, the way we do prediction, last time it took small, this one took 2 months. Yeah, 2 months, final. That's how we give the sizing and the estimates, right? Correct? That is also data, but that's in our head, that's in our experience. The other person will say, no. I did it in 1 month, how you can take 2 months? And that's how the story starts. And then he'll say, chal yaar, बीच में कुछ 1.5 महीने में कर देंगे. Na tera, na mera. Right? That's how our planning works today. Correct? But we are not leveraging our own data that we have. We have to start doing that. Now, when we have this data available to us, that for small feature, it took us this many months to build, or this many weeks to build, or this many days to build, I have a data to back it. Correct? Now, another point, is this going to be same for every organization? So if I have a data from X, can I use it for Y? No. So be careful. I'll come to the anti-patterns also. So be careful. So industry-wide data can be collected, but then every organization is a different landscape or ecosystem, right? And their own velocity, their own cycle time is going to be different. So using your own data will help you more. That in my organization to build this feature, given the context of the organization, it took 1 month. That's why it will take 1 month. You might have done it in 1 day. It's okay. But yahan pe, this is the data which is telling me it's going to take 1 month. Now we can back our decision on the data, and people will look forward that, okay, no, it makes sense, right? Not like 1 month, 2 months, and then some middle ground type of thing. Moving on, a lot of time we have a question. What our managers do? They don't contribute to delivery. Do they? They are. But what they are doing? Either they are raising request or they are approving request. That is also a job. Correct? Now, somebody has to make sure that the new developer has joined the team, raise a ticket to create ID, raise a ticket to get the laptop. अच्छा लैपटॉप आने के बाद मुझे वो दूसरे 4 टिकट बनाने हैं. After getting a laptop, I have to create another 4 ticket. Oh, you got the laptop yesterday. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, I'll create today. Now that's how the chain follows, right? And does anyone know how many tickets you have to create to onboard one person? 10, 20, 50? Huge, right? How much time you spend in just doing that work is huge. These are the waste. And if you can take the ServiceNow ticket and find out how much time it took for to onboard someone, now we have a case to invest in automating that for ourselves, right? So that the person comes in, we just go into some system where say onboard this person as a developer on this project, and automatically all the things are there. He gets a list of software where self-service, they can install themselves and they are done. Can we achieve that kind of ease for ourselves? We have solved problem for others. I'm repeating this statement 100 times. It's time for us to solve our own problem and use engineering intelligence for that. ServiceNow ticket, data is the source for you to convince the management that we have to invest in this. How much time we are investing, right? How many managers are doing this? How many individuals are wasting time just waiting for something to happen for them? Can we make that as a self-service? Another example I remember for the ticket. Whenever I have to create a new service, oh, एक काम कर वो API इसमें डाल दे यार. I don't want to create a new service. I have to raise 20 tickets. First to get the approval for the repo, then CI/CD, then this, that, and all that, and then at the end, put that API in this service and we are done. And we are creating technical debt because we don't have that capability in our organization to do it, right? So start focusing on that. Collect data using surveys, retrospectives, value stream mapping, all of that are the good ways to collect that data. What are the not good metrics? Number of lines of code is not good metrics. I think there are a lot of study, lot of things written. There is an article written by Martin Fowler on this also, that difficult to development productivity, difficult to measure development productivity. Number of bugs filed. Rather than QA helping, writing the exception criteria, waiting for developer to make the mistakes so that I can file a bug and I am measured on that is a wrong thing, right? Think about metrics can also be harmful, right? So think about both the sides. Then, now all of this that I want to achieve, but are there any tools available for this? That's the next question comes in my mind, right? Yes, there are. So there are tools like Vadev. What they do is like they connect to your existing tool ecosystem like Git, Jira, Circle CI, or your Jenkins. Even they connect to your calendar to know how many meetings you are attending, how many time you are spending in the meetings. Now this could be also good metrics for you to realize that, okay, we are not giving time to developer to focus time for them, right? So all this can help. We ourselves developed tool Polaris, which helped us to look at this kind of metrics. Dinkar is here, I guess. Yes. So he is one of the, I would say, co-ideator, innovator for the Polaris tool. There are many people contributed. So I think what we are preaching is we have done ourselves for understanding how we are doing in our engineering work. There are many more tools. Just given one example, there is a tool which is called DevX 360 that Vanya talked about in the morning, is also in this landscape. I'm trying to say that if you Google it, search it, you will find hundreds. After 3 months, you will find another new, right? So concept, focus on that. There'll be many tools available, and you don't have to invent this. This is already a solved problem. Just try to see what you can do. Next, very important to focus on developer experience, right? And to solve that, there is a concept called investing into internal developer platform, like Backstage and all that, right? For the developer, we have our own ecosystem which is fragmented, available, like there are 10 tools to do 10 things, right? Go here to do that, go there to do that, but there is no single pane of glass. So bring all of that together with the concept of IDP. Backstage is one very good tool to put your all the different tools together into one place. We have invested in our own tool. We call it as Neo. We started this 5 years back. If today we have to start, we might go with the Backstage only. But we have our own internal developer platform that we call as Neo. It is in-house custom built for our own purposes. Take this further with AI ML. Once you have this data, you can build some models, you can make some machine learning, and then it can start predicting even the timeline for you. The day will come in the future, but we have to first start leveraging these platforms for our use cases. Look out for all the anti-patterns. Now this is important, right? Whenever there is something new, we have to be watchful about gochas and what we should not do or avoid, right? First, I talked about this, measure and collect metrics at the team level, not at the individual level, right? Performance evaluation is a separate thing. Don't try to combine them here. Do not compare metrics across teams and individuals. Rather, look at the trends within our own team over a period of time. Like we talked about that also, correct? Because the teams are different. Can I make a release as quicker, faster as like for the web and mobile? No. You can, for web, I can deploy 10 times in a day, user won't know. But for mobile apps, I think if I start deploying 10 times a day, people will go crazy, right? So there is a cadence, there is a release cycle, there is an approval cycle also, right? So you don't start comparing different. Just look at the trends. Do not use metrics to judge individual or team performance. Think from identifying waste and think from how I can be more effective, right? And collecting this metrics should not become a burden for a team. Don't overdo it. Oh, data, collect from everywhere. I say, यहाँ से मिल रहा है, यहाँ से भी ले लो, वहाँ से मिल रहा है, वहाँ से भी ले लो. And start, no, we want this data, will be useful somewhere, someday. Right? Start thinking about it, what you want to measure, start collecting that, see if it's helping, change if you have to. Something is not working, fine, right? That's what we do in the business intelligence also, right? We thought this will be helpful, but not helping. Try to look at from the other dimension. So in summary, leverage data-driven intelligence to improve engineering effectiveness. That will eventually drive for business, better business outcomes and happy developers. Make our own life easy. Leverage data to do that. That's the simple message that I want to give. Don't let other to do for yourself, otherwise it's going to be a problem. Start acting on it. I say this, the CI/CD has become a de facto. Whenever you have to start a project, do we have to think or do we have to ask anybody to check with them that, okay, no, we have to do CI/CD? No, right? It's a given. Same way, I talk about two more things today. One, invest in IDP. It should be the default for any big project or any microservice-based project that you are starting. Go for it. Second, start investing into engineering intelligence platform. De facto. Make it de facto for the project whenever you are starting. So this is the 4 lenses. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you.